Busy days, busy days.
Oh, yeah. First question is, was there ever a discussion about including lore text on cards that had room for it?
Yeah. We definitely thought about that. It was a debate really amongst the designers, and the reason why we didn't do it ultimately is because this game is like going for a very streamlined, modern sort of look, and we just like the look of absolute minimalism. It's a bit of a departure for FFG to being this minimal, I think, and but we wanted it to be. We thought it's especially important to make this as accessible as possible. Have lots of cool, even vanilla units with no text box at all. We do more vanilla units and French vanilla units in this game than I think we've done in past games. So it's definitely part of the design ethos, I think, to just be very simplified, accessible, hopefully reach as broad of an audience as possible this time. And yeah.
Well, and just for me personally, the graphic design of the frames is brilliant. They're not three color, very flat. So I enjoy that.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about heroism and villainy a second ago. What made you decide on the four other aspects of cunning, command, aggression, and vigilance?
I think it was sort of part of wanting all the heroes to be able to have their different aspects, that we could do different versions of them, because we know we want this game to last a long time, and we want people to always have access to playing the top tier characters, the most salient, iconic characters of Star Wars. We want there to always be, Rey and Luke and Vader and Palpatine in rotation that people have access to. So we know if this game's going to last a long time, if we're going to keep those top tier characters in rotation a lot, we're going to do a lot of different versions of them. So we want the different aspects where we can do a command Luke, a aggression Luke, a even cunning Luke, maybe.
Sometimes.
So
he has his moments.
Yeah. Because that's the nature of the game. We want to be able to show the characters in all their different moments and tap into all these different aspects of their personalities. We wanted we wanted all those aspects, as opposed to, the other option would be just having maybe three. So the reason we went up to four, and we define them fairly abstractly and at a personality level, I think, is so that we can do lots of different snapshots of the cool, unique units. Yeah.
Awesome. Was there ever a point where heroism and villainy were hard to vision, like in previous games where light side, dark side, and Mary the Twain shall meet?
I think we came pretty quickly to the consensus of making it a more open system where you could just pay the tax and you can play cards from anywhere. That was something we didn't like about some of our previous games, is and just lots of games in general. There's this factioning off, and we don't like when people get too invested with. I just like this aspect. I just like so I only pay attention to those cards when there's a release. We really wanted everybody to pay attention to every card when there's a release. We want to make all 200 plus cards relevant to you, so that you're excited about the previews. So we're one way to do that is to make it theoretically open, but of course we also want to encourage thematics. Building a thematic deck. So that's why we arrived at the system of it's most optimal if you play the thematic way, but you can also splash in whatever you want to. And it's been cool for deck building too. There's lots of decks that's I have a really go wide deck, but it doesn't have the right aspects to play this card that buffs my whole board. But in that particular instance where I have 7 units out and buffing my whole board is easily a you win the game card, it's definitely worth splashing. So yeah, there's been a good amount of splashing and playtesting. It's been in a good space, I think.
concentration on co-op from other FFG releases recently, and we're wondering if, just in the back of your head, if anything like a raid deck, like a players versus a raid deck, is talked about.
We haven't, we haven't announced anything yet for multiplayer, but we clearly are leaving the door open for that kind of thing. That's you can tell in the templating that cards are templated in such a way that they would make sense if you had teammates or multiple opponents. Yeah.
I have a very specific question. With the Sentinel keyword, some cards have a filled-in red box around the keyword and helper text. Some just have a red border around the keyword and text.
Right.
Is there a difference? What is it?
Yeah, the solid box means is for when it always has Sentinel. The softer box is when it's got conditional Sentinel. So that's how you can tell. We didn't want people to get confused of like they always see the box and they always think and they think it always has Sentinel. So if it's conditional, it's a little bit different of a box so that people know we should check if it has a condition or not before we attack. Yeah, and Sentinel needed the additional treatment more than other keywords because you can't attack anything else if the Sentinel's there. So it's something we really don't want you to miss that particular keyword. Yeah.
We've kind of touched on this one already about how much of the card design was bottom up versus top down.
Right. Yeah, it's a bit of both, obviously. Yeah. I think it's a good interplay of the two. It's really cool when we've got a concept for this is the unit that has Saboteur and some other keyword, and then this is the art that we got back, and it's Rebel unit that would make perfect sense to have both of those things. Yeah. Sure. Theoretically, that's not a real spoiler.
Will the starter leaders, Incubator, and other S-rarity cards that we've seen have to be available for limited play, like Draft or Seal, or are those versions of them going to just be constructed only?
Interesting. Yeah, they obviously won't be in draft packs, so you can't draft them that way. No, they won't be in limited play in general. I guess the only way they would come to limited play is if they were reprinted in the future, or if we specifically did a format for that. Yeah, or an event for that or something. Yeah, but in general, they won't be in limited. No.
Gotcha. So, one last question, and this one is from me, because I'm very curious. What was the how and why of going with the actual art pieces for this game? Since 2012, FFG has built up a huge library of some of the best Star Wars art ever.
Yeah.
The art here is fantastic, but it is a stark departure from what we've seen in pretty much every other product.
Yeah.
What was the decision behind that? What was the process?
That was very intentional. Yeah, we have a ton of slush that we could have used to produce this game so much more affordably, but instead we went down this other route of making all this cool new art style. But I think it was Jim and the art directors both seemed pretty passionate about wanting this particular art style because it's a good intersection of the different Star Wars styles. There's the comic book art, the animated art, and the live action. And in most of our games, I think we've skewed more towards live action, and then we tried to do more photorealistic, and then convert the comic book and animated stuff over to that level of photorealism, and that's made us have to translate things more and change them more from their original source material. So I think this seemed like the best middle way to be the most accurate to all the the source material was like kind of split the difference in more in like the comic book like half realistic. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Aaron. Very nice to meet you.
Yeah.
You have a good rest of the con.
Thanks, you too. Bye.